Hi, I'm Emma, and I've had some requests for a video, well, primarily for the lower back actually, but it's quite difficult because everyone's lower back conditions are different, so what might work for one person might not work for another. So I'm just going to do a general back sequence, just a short sequence, which might help bring some ease to your back issues, which often, well, there's all sorts of reasons: lack of grounding, posture when you're working, whatever it may be, just the stress and strain of life. So just getting on your mat probably can help ease some of the issues you're having. So we'll start lying on our backs, which actually isn't always great for people's backs, lower backs particularly. So maybe you bend your knees, okay, and have your feet flat to the mat. But otherwise you might stretch your legs along the mat. That might be just what you need right now. Either way, let's just feel, I'm going to bend my knees, let's just feel the back of the body in contact with the floor. So that's the first step, just feeling a little bit more grounded maybe, or having a sense of the ground. Often the back can play up a little, especially the lower back, when we have lost that sense of grounding, when life feels a little bit out of control and a little bit kind of lacking in stability, I guess. So here you are, the earth is beneath you, maybe, or at least it's somewhere beneath you, even if you happen to be high up in a building right now. And your feet are grounding down towards the floor, and you're being held, okay? So you're being held, you can feel this. So maybe with the holding, you can start some of the releasing, the unraveling, the unwinding, the de-stressing. And then let's take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And then let's bring the hands on to the lower tummy. And let's breathe in and out through the nose. If you can't breathe through your nose, then breathe through your mouth. But let's breathe in through the nose, expanding the tummy towards the ceiling. And on the exhalation, drawing the tummy down towards the floor. So just breathing in, expanding tummy. And breathing out, releasing tummy. So gentle abdominal breath. Staying with your breath, feeling the abdomen moving with the breath. And this sense of surrendering a little, of the body almost becoming a little bit heavier then on the exhalation. And then at the end of the exhalation, just let go of this breathing technique. Maybe you release your hands back down. And then just breathe generally into the body. So breathing through the nose again. And maybe this time you really try and seek a little bit more expansion into the rib cage. So rib cage expanding outwards and lifting upwards on the inhalation. Then just the release on the exhalation. Just releasing all breath from body on the exhalation. Trying to fill the back, the front, the whole body with breath. On this inhalation, release on the exhalation. And then let's just inhale the right knee into the chest. So maybe we keep the left knee bent, or maybe we straighten the left leg along the mat. And maybe we start to feel some tension somewhere, maybe in the hips or in the thighs or wherever it may be. And then we'll exhale the right leg along the mat and inhale instead your left knee into the chest, just hugging that left knee in. Let's inhale the right knee to join the left knee. And let's press the lower back down onto the floor. So just press the lower back down. And then maybe we stay here, or maybe we might just work with the neck a little bit. In theory, this is helping to strengthen, but if it helps to irritate, if it irritates, then stop, obviously. So keep this lengthening through the neck, so the chin drawing ever so slightly in towards the chest. Take an inhalation. On the exhalation, nose towards the knees. Inhaling the head back down, the lower back still pressing onto the floor. And exhaling nose to knees. Inhaling the head back down. Inhaling the head back down. And exhale, roll to the right side and press yourself all the way up from there. Come to a seated position. If you can cross your ankles, do. It might be that your hips are really tight, so that might be uncomfortable, but let's just see how you go. You might have to straighten the legs along the mat. Okay, and if that's really uncomfortable, you might have to kneel. We're just going to interlock the fingers and take an inhalation. Let's see if we can stretch all the way up. That's it. And then exhale, bring the hands together, trying to interlock the fingers and press the palms together as you inhale, lift the chest. No, keep the chest open as you lift the hands, I should say. And then you're releasing on an exhalation. So see if you can do that again. Keep the chest open. Try not to collapse down as you inhale, lift the hands. And then exhale, release down from there. And let's just bring the left arm across the chest. Drop the left shoulder. Just hold above or below the elbow joint. Good, and then on the exhalation, release, and let's do the same. Right arm across the chest. Breathing in, and then breathing out, dropping the right shoulder. Good, and then releasing on the exhalation there. Change the cross of your ankles if you can. Again, you might feel this in the hips. Maybe that's where the tension is for you. Change the interlock to the unnatural interlock. Take an inhalation, stretch up, and exhale again, hands to the back of the body. Take the unnatural interlock. Try and press the hands together. So keep the chest lifted, and inhale, lift the hands. And exhale, release down. So it's really good if you work with computers. Let's inhale, lift the hands. And exhale, release down. And then let's just rotate into the wrist joints in one direction. And then in the opposite direction. So maybe there's some tension in the wrist joints as well. And then maybe just shake out the wrist joints. I get a bit carried away here for some reason. I find it difficult to stop doing this once I've started. It's all the typing I do. Okay, let's release from there. And then let's come all the way over onto hands and knees. Okay, maybe you take a blanket underneath your knees, and let's move with the breath. So just be really mindful how this affects your back, given that some of you have different, well, all of you will have different back conditions. So in theory, on the inhalation, we soften the tummy, lift the chest, lift the sitting bones. And on the exhalation, round the back, so back of heart to ceiling, tailbone to the floor, chin to chest. Inhaling, softening the tummy. If it's too much, really lifting the sitting bones, and obviously don't do that, lift the chest. And then on the exhalation, those of you who have upper back pain, you might find this is really releasing for you as you press the back of the heart to the ceiling. Inhaling again, let's open the chest. And exhaling, rounding the back. We're going to inhale again, lift the chest. We're going to tuck the toes under, and maybe we have a go on an exhalation at downward facing dog, which means really lengthening through the whole body essentially. But it might be too strong for your hamstrings, in which case have the knees bent. We're trying to get the spine as long as possible. Okay, so it's not kind of dropping in the middle or too rounded, although you might find it is like that simply because of tension in the body. So just being comfortable, breathing. If it's too strong, bring the knees down. And then all of us, anywhere in the exhalation, bringing the knees down onto the floor. We're going to take the left foot flat and step the right foot forward beside the right thumb. And we're just going to have the right knee on top of the right ankle. And we're going to lift the chest from here, pressing into the left foot and the left shin, lifting the chest. Good. And then we might have a go now at tucking the left toes under, just really lengthening that left leg back and pressing the left heel back. So it's probably more intense than with the top of the left foot flat to the mat. But again, it depends on your body. Just because it's more intense for me, it might not be more intense for you. And we're lifting the chest. And we're really pressing the left heel back, almost as if we want to lift the left knee up, just that we're not allowing the left knee to lift up, but we are pressing the left heel back. And we're pressing the right foot down, and we're keeping the right knee over the right ankle. And then we're going to soften on the exhalation, Release the top of the left foot down onto the floor. And then we're going to walk the right foot over towards the left side of the mat for pigeon. So, in theory, the right knee is at diagonal from your right hip. Okay, and your right foot is active. And then you stretch your left leg back from there with the left knee pressing down to the floor. You take an inhalation and exhale, come forward from here. The lower back kind of level, so the right buttock for most of us won't be on the floor. And maybe our forehead won't be on the floor either. Maybe I make this look too easy. It's really not an easy pose at all for many of us. Certainly when I first started yoga, this was excruciatingly uncomfortable for me on many levels, physically, but also emotionally and mentally. And all I wanted to do was run away from it, which was kind of a reflection of my life at the time. When things got challenging, I just wanted to run away. So this kind of thing shows up in our practice. Maybe for you this is really easygoing, so you might just settle into your easygoing place. Those of us that don't find it so easygoing, maybe this is where your tension is. So I invite you to direct breath to sensation. Now for those of you that find this is not great for your knee, backtracking here, we'll come into a supine pigeon. So the left knee is bent, right knee is bent, and the right heel is above that left knee on the left thigh. And you attempt to press the right knee towards the front of the mat whilst flexing the right foot, okay? So you're here instead. You're just flipping it over. Okay. And then those of you in your pigeon with the tummy down towards the floor, you're allowing the weight of the body to sink on the exhalation. Try not to create more tension, no tension in the shoulders or in the face. And then we're going to take an inhalation to lift the head and chest. And to exhale, walk the hands back. And then those of you who are lying on your backs will just need to release from the pose and bring yourself, if you can, to join us on hands and knees. So we're just going to bring ourselves on an exhalation to hands and knees. Now let's see how this works for you, because it might not work for you as well as it works for me, but let's bring the knees together, feet together, and let's come into hip circles. And if you find this aggravates the back in any way, then obviously you stop. You can kind of take the movement up into the shoulders as well. And just allow the body to kind of move as it wants to move. So maybe actually you want to keep changing, maybe you want to do a figure of 8. There's like no right or wrong here, it's just allowing the body the opportunity to move, like move the stagnant energy or the tension or whatever it may be. Just allowing movement, which sometimes isn't like easy for us because we're used to being told how we should move our body, especially in yoga. But actually we need to allow the body wisdom the space to sort itself out, essentially. We need to get out of our way, get out of our own way. Okay, and then come back to the starting position. Take the knees apart, and then let's step the left foot beside the left thumb and come into this lunge position. So this can be really uncomfortable for us. If we've got like quite tight thighs and hips, this is troublesome. And maybe you need to really keep low, or maybe over time you can kind of lift the pubic bone a little bit and then drop the tailbone down. And maybe you can lift the chest a little bit more. And then maybe some of you feel that this is absolutely enough for you, just even getting in this position. But otherwise, working a little bit more into the psoas. They say it's like the most emotional muscle of the body, and it's quite an important one because it connects the upper and lower parts of the body. This certainly seems to get into my psoas, so it's not always pleasant, therefore, but can create back issues. Certainly for me it can, if it's particularly tight. So tucking the right toes under and pressing the right heel back whilst lifting the chest, as if I want to lift the right knee away from the mat, but I'm keeping the right knee down, but I'm still pressing through that right heel and lifting the chest. I find it makes me feel a little nauseous, actually, and sometimes the heat increases in the body. I wonder why we do this, don't we? But I actually feel much better for doing it, so that's why I do it. But breathe. Okay, and then let's release on an exhalation. Taking then the left foot over towards the right side of the mat for pigeon, Ekapada Rajya Pottasana. It's quite an impressive sounding posture and with good reason. So left knee off at a diagonal from your left hip if you can, flexing that left foot, walking the right leg back, drawing the right hip forward, left hip back for many of us, just to align the pelvis. Take an inhalation, exhale, come forward from here. Or bringing yourself onto your back, right foot is flat to the mat, left heel above that right knee and pressing the left knee forward. Those of you lying on your back doing this, sometimes you notice for example right now, it's very easy for my right side of lower back to lift up and my right waist to shorten, so I want to root down into both sides of my lower back equally and then work more so into the hip joint, that leg joint. And then again, breathe into sensation. So I know it's desperately uncomfortable for us sometimes, as long as it's not causing injury, then just see if you can settle with the breath, just see what happens if you just sit with the discomfort. That's the joy of yoga, it teaches us to be more present to our discomfort so we don't kind of numb away from it. So we can maybe just explore it and be less fearful of it. It's just a sensation, and actually when you stay with the sensation you may notice how it changes into a different sensation. Okay, let's then, those of us lying on our tummies, take an inhalation. And on the exhalation, let's walk the hands back. And then let's press the hands down and let's slip the left knee onto the mat. And those of you lying on your backs, just releasing from the supine pigeon and bringing yourself also onto hands and knees. And then from here, we're just going to tuck the toes under. We're going to take an inhalation, lift the sitting bones in the chest, and let's exhale. Let's just take another downward facing dog. And then we're going to inhale, lift the head. And as we exhale, walk the feet, if you can, towards your hands. And let's turn the toes towards the outer edges of the mat and possibly squat. Now, I squat a lot, so it's pretty easy going for me. For some of you, this is not easy going. And therein lies the tension again. So maybe you feel this in your inner thighs or your hips or through the legs. And if it's too much, just come down to sit. So it might be that you have to have your heels lifted. That's perfectly acceptable and legal. Feet down otherwise, or heels down. And maybe some of you find this really easy going as well. So hands to the heart, lift the chest. And then we're going to release on an exhalation the buttocks down onto the floor. I'm going to take the feet about hip distance apart, hands behind the back of the body, maybe fingers pointing towards the buttocks if you can, and draw the shoulder blades into the back body. So maybe this is enough for some of us, just trying to open into the chest. Or we might press the hands and feet down and take an inhalation into tabletop. Maybe the head drops back, maybe it doesn't. And then exhale, buttocks back down. Maybe we'll do that one more time. So let's inhale, press the feet down, extend the knees forward as this aggravates the back, stop. And then exhale, releasing the buttocks down. We're going to come to lie on our backs. Maybe some of you want to use your core strength. Maybe that is what you need to support your back. Maybe it isn't. If you're menstruating, absolutely not. Okay, but otherwise feet may press down. Take an inhalation, and on the exhalation, unroll your spine down onto the floor. Good. And then let's extend. Actually, no, let's not. Let's keep both feet flat to the mat. So again, this grounding, rooting the feet down, hands down. Maybe this is enough. Otherwise, we're going to take an inhalation, press the feet down, and on the exhalation, unroll your spine away from the mat, lifting the hips to the ceiling. If this pinches the lower back, then it probably means it's not ideal for you right now. Otherwise, if it's okay, this is great for the upper back often, especially if we do spend a lot of time kind of collapsed chest forward. Pressing the hands together, pressing the feet down, pressing the knees forward as you lift the chest to the chin into bridge pose. So chest comes to join the chin. Try not to flatten the neck on the mat. Breathe up into the heart with the breath. Keep the knees tracking the ankles so they're not splaying off towards the sides of the mat. And then release the hands apart, and on an exhalation, roll the spine back down onto the mat. And then from there, extend your left leg along the mat and inhale your right knee into your chest, hugging that right knee in. And then as you exhale, release the right leg along the mat. Let's inhale the left knee into the chest, hugging that left knee in. And then let's inhale the right knee to join the left knee. Exhale the left foot onto the mat. Let's just stretch into the hamstrings, which often are really tight if we've got particularly lower back issues. And that might be because the hamstrings are trying to protect the body, but often it can be more than that. So it might be like a mental, emotional reason. So we're more than just the physicality. And I think sometimes when we've got back issues, we are really scared to aggravate those back issues. And so we're always looking outside of ourselves for some guidance of what we should or shouldn't do, but really you just need to check in and just see what's really going on. Okay, so let's just exhale, release the right foot down onto the floor. And then let's inhale instead the left foot towards the ceiling, just holding wherever is comfortable for you. Maybe it's not comfortable as well, like it's really sometimes not. Like I know Ewan's got really, often has a really bad lower back. He's broken it twice actually. So for him, this pose is actually really not very nice, and his is kind of like over here somewhere, and he needs a strap. So you might need a strap because actually he can't hold the foot or the leg from here. But I'm probably making this look a little bit too easygoing sometimes. I have done a lot of practice over the last however many years it has been, daily practice. But really, you need to just see how it feels for you. So just breathe into discomfort. So there'll be some tightness somewhere, just really breathing into it. Obviously, if you feel this is aggravating the back, then stop. But in theory, I've often found when working with other people that this actually helps to release the back. Okay, it's like it just stretches everything out a little bit. Just breathing as well can shift like the emotional, mental side to it. Okay, and then let's exhale, bend the left knee, and let's bring the left foot down onto the floor, so both feet onto the floor. And then we're going to inhale both knees into the chest and take the knees apart, soles of the feet towards the ceiling. So this is dead bug, happy baby. Again, it can be really uncomfortable for some of us. I know, again, using Ewan as an example, this is really not very comfortable for him. And he might be able to reach his feet, actually, now I think about it, but then his lower back is really up in the air. So personally, I'd rather the lower back was down on the floor and you just hold your shins. But maybe some of you can keep the lower back down and hold your feet as well, in which case press the feet into the hands and press the hands into the feet. And maybe you really notice some tension in the hips here. I mean, we have worked a little with the pigeon. There is the lizard that we could do on another occasion that might help, although that can be pretty full on initially. Okay, and then you might just have a little go at stretching the legs at this angle. Maybe that's absolutely not what you need right now, but you might give it a try. And then we'll exhale, release the feet down. And I'd like to take a twist. Now, twisting is always a bit challenging with back issues because you're twisting the spine. So maybe this twist works for you with the feet mat distance, hands at shoulder height. You might take an inhalation and exhale the knees to the left, head to the right. Inhale, knees back towards the ceiling, feet flat, and then exhale, knees over to the right, head to the left. And maybe you inhale to the center, exhale, knees to the left, head to the right. Inhale to the center, exhale, knees to the right, head to the left. And inhale back to the centre. But maybe actually now I've just done that wasn't great for your back, in which case you might try instead Jatharaparavartanasana, which is a core strengthening pose as well. Hands to shoulder height and really root the shoulders down. It's kind of a shoulder strengthening pose as well. Try and keep the knees together if you can. Let's take an inhalation. On the exhalation, the knees go towards the left, but they hover and only go as far as you can, comfortably, and with the right shoulder on the mat. And then inhale to the centre, knees still together, working with the core here as you exhale, and the inner thigh muscles. Exhale, knees to the right, left shoulder still on the floor. Inhale to the centre, and then exhale, maybe you can turn your head to the right as the knees come over to the left, just hovering, tummy active, knees together. Inhaling to the centre, exhaling, knees over to the left, head to the right. And inhale, come back to the centre. I wouldn't advise that if you're menstruating, incidentally. And then let's release the feet down onto the floor, and maybe we stay like this, resting. What is brilliant if you have a lower back issue, from my experience, is bringing the backs of your legs onto a chair or onto a bed. So imagine I had a chair or a bed underneath the backs of my legs, and just letting the lower back sink down. So this is actually incredibly healing. It's really good actually as well if you have any menstrual issues or if you're recovering postnatally. You could also take your legs up a wall, as long as that doesn't aggravate through the hamstrings. So you sit sideways to a wall and then shuffle the legs up the wall. Okay, so that could be another option. Or feet flat, knees in together. Or here, with the bolster under the knees is amazing actually as well to take pressure off the back. But either way, I'd encourage you just to rest. That's often what the back needs, some resting. This is supportive resting, so resting. And let's just take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And then I'll leave you here, trying to rest for as long as you can. Namaste.